Well, welcome to life. Welcome to the Spirit of Life show. The new title for my radio show, evolving from Just Jim in 2020 to Spirit of Life in 2021. I like the sound of that. I hope you do. Just Jim was meant to be practical and simple and straightforward. We'll continue to do that. But the Spirit of Life are like the two components that are most important to me. And so it's easier for me to be able to share spirit, our spirit within, what we connect to as our inspiration, what makes a difference for us in our faith or the way that we believe, and living life. My God, that's what we're all in the middle of this together. So Spirit of Life is really a chance to look at life from an inspirational way. The idea with the show is to share some inspiration, some information, some ideas, some concepts, some fun. Oh, well, my wife says I'm not funny, but, some fun anyway, to be able to make a difference, help maybe have you see things a little differently or experience yourself a little differently. So let's see what we can do here today. I've been, for the last 40 years or so, helping people find their purpose and direction, and a little counseling, a little writing, a little speaking, this kind of work in shows and podcasts. So I'm glad to be here with you and grateful to be able to share a little bit of my experience, strength, and hope with you. That's my goal, that it might make a difference. That's my purpose in life. And today we're going to be having a discussion, or actually me discussing a particular topic that I find to be really important. The topic of today's show is living in love. This month, these shows have been geared towards living in different ways, and I find living in love to be one of the most powerful things that not only has always affected my life, but recently in my life, I've had an experience I'll share with you in a little bit that powerfully impacted the way that I see myself and see love. And the title of the show is Living in Love. And that may sound a bit like a romantic relationship, the love of a lifetime, or maybe an unexpected encounter that took your breath away or stole your heart. And certainly when you use those kinds of ways to describe being in love, certain characteristics apply. But I'm really talking about the unconditional and boundless love that we are, truly, naturally. Meaning that when we let go of expectation or strings or even whatever we might place on a really good relationship or one that we're struggling with, and we allow ourselves to just drop into our own heart, in our own being, and let ourselves be in touch with that soft, gentle, vulnerable, intimate love that we are, then we're able to experience ourselves very differently. I'm not speaking about the love that can be taken away or given, or the love that can be captured or packaged, sealed in a card or wrapped in a box. There's nothing wrong with conveying love in that way. I'm talking about a state of being that knows no limits and sets us free far beyond any truth that we might be able to find, because you'll hear that statement. How often do you hear it? The truth will set you free. Well, I can tell you right now, one thing that's true: love will set you free. And it's not the love that you get or give, but the love that you are. And with that said, we live in a conditional reality. We live in a world filled with circumstances and situations and conditions. I'm always saying this, and it's our experience of life. It's through these circumstances, situations, our conditions, the relationships and interactions we relate to life or we experience life. And yet, every moment, we seem to be determining our relationship in life to others, to what's in our life, to life itself. It's kind of like that connection. Relation and relationships is how we relate to everything. It's the way that we connect to life and we experience it. The love I speak of today, though, is the catalyst that makes all of that, no matter what it is. Circumstances, situations, conditions, meaningful and matter. And it is related to the little stuffed cuddly bear grasping a heart that you might feel as a child gave you comfort, or a meaningful card or something that somebody does for you because they care about you, certainly that love is woven into and through all that we experience and express in our daily lives. This is a step deeper as we experience anything with our heart, and I dare say our divine heart, wide open. We're able to experience life, living in love, living life at its fullest, its most joyful, a state of freedom, unlimited beauty, and a quiet, still peace that stirs our soul, awakens our purpose, ignites our passion. These are the parts of life that allow us to live in the depth of fulfillment that we struggle and strive to try to extract from life. And yet we have within us a key to open a doorway or even a gateway into a deeper part of who we are, not related to other people or other things or what's going on around us, but within us, that allows us to experience ourselves more free and more full. And then coming from that place, living in love, the love that we are, it shifts the way that we think. It shifts the way that we feel. It shifts our decisions and our actions. It shifts our interactions and relationships with others. Rather than seeking it from the world, when we turn in and tap into our heart, and I want to call it our divine heart because it's that spirit within us that is allowing us to experience ourselves as that unlimited and infinite expression of life that is carried by our love into our life that truly makes the difference. It's what causes us to think or choose or act in a way that really, really is meaningful and powerful. And as we're living from that place, and we can't always, there's so many things going on around us, we're being bombarded with stress and tension and pressure and all these things that are happening, telling us how we can be and not be, and concerned with our well-being and our health and the things that are going on. And yet when we turn within and start to try to live inside out from our heart, we can create a sense of expansion. It's like an opening that allows us to have some freedom and what I call an illumination or a light, like our heart has a flame burning in it, and we're able to see a little bit easier, and we're able to surrender into, if only for moments, a sense of bliss, a sense of freedom, a sense of joy, a sense of beauty, peace, light, of love that we are. And I know when I start bringing up idealistic ideas and talking about, extracting ourselves from the world and turning within, it brings up things for people. I'm sure maybe you right now are thinking, well, I need to learn how to love myself, much less find that love within me. I'm not sure where it is because you may not feel like you're worthy of this kind of love or deserve it, or God, how many of us have loved and lost, been betrayed or weren't able to have the person that we gave our heart and soul to be with us any longer. I've had a huge amount of loss in this last year because of COVID and other things, and we share our love. And when we aren't able to continue to share it outside of ourselves, we feel like we're losing something. But I'm talking about turning in. And I know some of you are saying, well, I know exactly what you mean, Jim, by that love. I have the perfect partner. And I too, in my life, I'm very, very grateful. I need to disclose a little disclaimer. I have a wonderful marriage. It took me 50 years to figure out how to do that. And quite a few of them before this one. But I know what you mean. You're able to love your soulmate or your partner with all your heart and soul, and that is an expression of what I'm talking about. And when you're in complete surrender, that is part of what I'm saying. And remember, though, what I'm talking about here is this love that I'm talking about is not dependent on circumstance, situation, condition, interaction, or relationship itself. And this is going to sound like a pretty powerful statement, but it's true. This love actually sets us free from that. Because we walk through life, we're human. And so we're going to have that list of how we think it has to be in a relationship, in friendship, with family, in the world, in our workplace, in our communities, in our country, in our system that we're observing, evolving, in a powerful, powerful way. And everybody's got their opinion and their feeling about that. And it affects how we feel. I'm talking about going to a place within yourself that you're connecting with that origin of love that you are in such a way that you're able to come from within out into your life, living in that love, and have you see, hear, feel, experience, express completely different as a result of choosing to be in love that you are. And then you can be in love with yourself, with others, with family, with friends, etc., etc. I'm talking about turning within to the origin of love that you are, your divine heart within, and be able to experience that unconditional and boundless energy within you and as you. And just like when you walk into a room happy or walk into a room angry, it exudes from you. So if you're in love and you're making your way through your life, everywhere you go and everything you do, you're reflecting and emanating this love into your thoughts, feelings, and actions, and into your interactions, relationships, and what's going on in life. And if you're doing it, it's going to stir, be a catalyst for others to be able to do it. And there are very few places in this world you can actually experience a love pure and perfect and powerful. I mean, in relationships, we have expectations, we have strings. We like to think we don't, and we like to think we let go of them as much as we can, and each of us have our level of being able to do that or not. But there are certain places that you've heard many times that you can find that unconditional. And the reason being is that there's a lot of innocence in these places, in a baby's eyes. I have a 10-week-old granddaughter. And yesterday I was holding her in my arms and I'm looking down into her eyes, and I'm holding her, recognizing just how powerful of an example that she is of life. And in her case, except when she's crying to be changed, to be fed, a little bit too tired, etc., etc., we all know those situations when we're taking care of a baby, but when we're looking into her eyes and she's in that quiet, still moment, she's not judging me. I'm not judging her. We're not thinking about what should be or shouldn't be or how things are in life. We're just being together in a place of love that isn't ours. It just is. And so even yesterday, I had this wonderful experience of holding my granddaughter and seeing in her eyes this love that I'm talking about. We can see it in something that isn't related to a person, like a sunrise or a sunset. I've sat on a beach, I don't know if you've had, or in the woods or any place you might be, and seen something that just allowed me to let go completely of the world as I know it, and my heart would open and I would feel this flood of just warmth and freedom and beauty. In fact, last night I went outside. And it's been kind of cloudy lately, but last night I went out in front of my house. I laid down on the sidewalk, in my walkway of my house. I wasn't laying down on the sidewalk down by the street. I was laying down on the pathway outside my house.